Welcome to One on One. I'm Greg Bass, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. It's a big day here at PAC 14. We're in election season, and we're interviewing all the candidates for all the various posts in Wicomico County. Today, County Council District 1, our good friend Shanie Shields is in the house. Welcome, Shanie.
Thanks for inviting me again. I enjoy talking to you. I can't catch you otherwise, but one on one, I catch you on one on one.
I appreciate that, Shanie. Now, this is a political comeback for you. You were on the city council for a long time, representing District 1 in the city. Now you want to represent District 1 in the county.
That's correct. And because I was telling you before, I enjoy doing this because I think when you represent people, you're helping someone. And I believe in helping people. And you're helping people legislatively in the government where you get something done to help somebody, to benefit somebody else. And like I said before, politicians need to know that they're servants of the people, not the other way around. I'm here to serve the people I represent, and also the county. It's District 1, yes, but you're representing the whole county.
But one thing about you, Shanie, I used to work with you, so I know this to be true. People are calling you all day and getting you to solve their problems and help them.
They sure do. It's nonstop. You'd be surprised. They still call me, and I'm a believer in giving somebody help. If you can't give them the answer to the question, while you have them, because I'm older now, I might forget, I'll dial the number, and so they'll know that I've called to answer their question, or give them the telephone to the person in the local government, wherever, that could help them. I don't think you should always say, it's not my district, or it's not my problem. You're here to solve the person's problem. They may not have time to go around the Robin Hood barn, but when you're in that position, you may know who to contact, and they may answer you quicker than they would ask a constituent. And I think that's one of the advantages I have had over the years. I believe in building relationships, and when you build relationships and treat people the way you want to be treated, you get more with honey than vinegar. And that's how I've always operated, even when working with you guys down to the Somerset Herald. I love working down there with people. I always had a smile on my face, and I was there seeming to do service. I even delivered papers when the little ladies didn't get their papers. I enjoyed doing it. I didn't get my paper today, but you give that service to
Right.
the customer service part of me was customer service.
So who inspires you from the previous people who sat in District 1 seat? Who inspires you?
Who inspired me? I'm going to say it wasn't a politician. It was the late James Leonard.
Okay.
And the reason he was the one got me into this as far as doing community service. When I moved back home in 81, it actually took me 6 years to get a good job with benefits. But I worked with him with migratory labor and feeding the hungry. And we would take bags of groceries to people that worked on the migrant camps. And, they have a affordable housing complex named James Leonard Apartments, which dealt with people that work in the agriculture industry.
Right.
And they kept, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to keep like 10 apartments available for people that came in to harvest the crops. I don't know if they do it now, but he inspired me to be community involved. And then I did volunteer work with Shore Up. Had my children tell you the butter and cheese lines, we would meet the night before, and they would be filling the bags up to give to people. So then you met people and saw people that were probably in the same situations you've been in. But I think Jim Leonard, and then my cousin Mary Pinkett, she sat on the city council, and she loved children and she loved people. She didn't want to get involved in controversy because, but she was genuinely concerned about, especially her neighborhood, because everybody knew her. She was like
Right.
a grandmom to everybody. And I think that learning people's situations, and in my personal situation that I've had over the years, I was a displaced worker. I was a divorcee, a widow, lost my home through foreclosure. I had to type up the legal advertisement
Right.
for that.
I remember that.
And man, but I'm just saying, I've experienced a lot of stuff. Now I'm a senior citizen, and I've been fortunate enough to live well. I moved back home. That I grew up in, the house I grew up in when I was 14, and that's a blessing because I don't have to pay rent. The house is paid for. So I'm fortunate enough to do that. But I do advocate for seniors, especially in the nursing home, the elderly, things like that. They have issues too. And some people maybe by themselves don't have family, and that's sad too. And so I think that we should be there to help them or see that they get the services that they deserve. And I believe in affordable housing. And the idea I had, I saw it on TV, affordable housing for teachers. Professor Chipman had a home called the Maple Tourist Home, and what he did, there was a home for teachers.
Right.
He gave them a place to stay. And it was a news article, I don't know if it was Washington State, where this school district, because they weren't paying salaries to the teachers,
Right.
the rent was like $2,000, whatever it was, but they built an affordable apartment complex for teachers, and that supplement their salary almost. They had affordable rent,
Right.
because everybody's not going to buy a house right away when they first start out. And I think that the county, I don't think, has done any affordable housing. And I think that's an issue that's dear to my heart, that they need. The city has overdone themselves, to
Right.
me, but I think the county should invest in affordable housing, not only for seniors, teachers, families, and it's a need for that. It's a need for affordable housing.
On the city council, there are 5 members. On the county council, there are 7. So when you were on the city council all the time, you were the swing vote on so many issues. There'd be 2 on one side, 2 on the other. Get on the county council. Are you ready to be the deciding vote on big issues
I'm
again?
ready to be the deciding vote, and I'm ready to put the people first, and I'm ready to see what's fair. Like I said, the bottom line, if it's fiscal right. And I also, as I did on the city council, I want to know what the trickle-down effect when we do legislation. How is it going to affect other neighborhoods? How is it going to affect the people? And the main thing is transparency and communication. Just like this storage tank, what they call DAF.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into more detail. I'm reading up on that, I'll be honest with you. But it was legal for that man to do that.
Totally.
Totally legal.
And actually encouraged by the state to do it.
And that's
Yeah.
another issue.
Yeah.
But those people that lived out there should have known about that and not seen it on TV or not seen it in the paper. They should have brought, like I said, all the stakeholders should have been there and been educated on what this was going to be. They should have had an opportunity to object to it and justify their objection, but they were not even inquired about it, how they felt about it. I'm not keeping secrets. You go to a work session, you might know it's coming for the legislative planning, zoning, whatever. They have to notify those people. That should be mandatory, that these people have some kind of public hearing to see what's going on. I think that would avoid a lot of controversy. You bringing the people's property value down. That's not right. And I understand it's bringing stuff from other towns and stuff. That's not right. And I think that it shouldn't took all these years, 3 years, to come to wherever the conclusion that came Tuesday night. You should let people know what's going on in their community, in their neighborhood. They're taxpayers. And then you just slap them in the face and just let the guy do it because it's legal. And
Political comebacks usually don't work, but you in the primary defeated 2 really qualified people, Monica Brooks especially. She was very articulate on the environmental issues.
Look, I got a call. I was in my yard. My car wouldn't start. My battery died. And the guy called, Shanie, they say you won. And I said, won what? Because I was thinking about my car. Because I wanted to leave the yard, get my coffee. I said, won what? He won the election. And I said, that's a joke. Somebody's playing a scam or something. So I looked up on there.
So you didn't expect to win?
I didn't know because I had lost. I just said I had lost.
Right.
And see, and I'm like this. I don't get angry because I told Monica and I told Amber.
Yeah.
Whoever
Amber
wins.
Green was the third candidate. She was actually, good candidate.
I said, whoever wins, we have to support that person. And that's why I was geared up. Whoever won, I was geared up to help that person. But as God would help me to win. And I'm hoping that I prove myself to the community that age is just a number. Now I do have natural arthritis, but otherwise I feel fine. And I'm gonna do my best. There's a neighborhood, Westover Hills, just got boarded up houses, been there for umpteen years. And I think that needs to be addressed. And I know the city, when I was on the city council, they purchased abandoned properties. And I think that this is a particular opportunity to get those properties, finding who the heirs are, and tear it down. And I know people want to buy them and make them livable. If they can be made livable, yes. And but it's an eyesore, and that should be addressed. It should not be allowed. There's 3 of them up on what we call Westover Hill, and it needs to be addressed. And I want to address that issue. It's not going to happen the first year. I don't expect what I want to be done. I'm not that naive, because I would have to learn the ways the county does stuff. But I also want to put my 2 cents in how we can make it better.
Right.
Bring some ideas that I learned from the city to the county. I want to do that. And I know the septic tank issue is a biggie, and the people on Old Ocean City Road wants that to be addressed. And I think we shouldn't have to wait 20 years for them to address it if their septic tank's failing. I hate septic tanks. I have a septic tank issue. I have a septic tank now because I'm not in the city. But I'd be the first in line to be annexed to wastewater, and at least wastewater, the septic tank, get rid of the septic tank. But some people don't, want that. They don't understand that it's failing. And from my understanding, from what I'm learning, that the more you develop land that use septic tanks, the other septic tanks are going to fail. So we need to educate people on that issue, so we can understand how you're going to sell something if you don't explain to people why you need to get rid of septic tanks.
Yeah. You're just such a great advocate. Are you going to try to do the same thing on the county council?
I think it's true. I think that when someone calls for help, you be there for that person. Now, I know back in the day, Only Road had break the traffic. When they built James and Bennett, some people called me from Only Road. It wasn't my district, but I listened to the person.
Right.
They sent me a letter. They sent all of us a letter, and I called the person. If someone in District 1 calls me in the county, or even in the city, I'm going to answer that person. And some things are just simple stuff.
Right.
Trash, untagged cars, paving the street. Get the schedule when they're going to pave the streets over there. Call the. Now, one thing I'm going to advocate in the budget is another code enforcement officer. They have 1 to our 9 in the city.
Right.
They need another code enforcement officer. They're overworking the person, and the only time he really can do anything to address an issue is a complaint.
Right.
So he needs help. And they got money if they're going to build a wharf or whatever they're going to build down the way. Hire a person to help that other person. Don't overwork that one person. And that's how some issues can be. He has a whole county. He has Biville down the road. There are the towns that don't even have a municipality.
Right.
You got Biville and Allen and all those kind of little towns. You need to help that person. Employees come first with me also. I don't think we should top heavy, pay people all these exorbitant salaries and let the little guy not make it.
Right.
Because it's hard now. And I advocated for, especially Public Works in the city of Salisbury, to get a raise. And I said, before you do a department head, you need to raise those guys' salary.
Right.
And I think we did that. I think they're well paid, because some people's been there and retired. Some of them are retired, worked 40 years and retired. I've seen some of the guys, they finally retired. But I think they were treated basically fairly after they got the raise. The fire department, the first responders, I support them. I don't believe in defunding police. I don't defunding fire department. We need those things. We need those departments. So I want to sit down and talk with our sheriff and see what we can do for him to reach out to the community, like have some kind of community fair. Now, what I do disagree with, and I'm making it public because I haven't been but once, they should not have night out always in the city park. They should have in other parts of the community.
Right, move it around.
Because it originally was for high crime areas where it should be. I'm not saying I'd have it at the city park, but one year we had it at Lake Street. One year we had it at Church Street, like a block party. We need to move it around. And then this way we can get the sheriff maybe to do something. We got these ghost playgrounds. No children, I mean, the children play, but they don't have no programs in the summer. Everybody can't go to summer camp.
Right.
So what we need to do, the Wicomico Parks and Rec should have a person, write a grant or something, to get an instructor out there to work with those kids in the summertime. It's numbered 3 weeks. They have 3 weeks they can look forward to something. And it's not fair to the kids that live in the neighborhood. And one of the ones I really target right now is Chippewa in the Indian Village.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to see if the sheriff, if he's looking at it, put in his budget $1,000 to do like a 1 day little fair or something where the kids can see the motorcycle
Sure.
and that kind of stuff. And when elected, I am going to meet with him and see if he would do that, put it in the budget, because that's what Barbara Duncan did, and they had
Yeah.
the lacrosse.
Right.
Because I asked to show the police department be a people too type thing.
Right.
And I didn't care who got the credit, because Matt Marcirella, he helped out before he became judge.
Right.
And they still have the lacrosse team, but they're still getting $1,000, which I think they should up it a little bit.
Right.
But they still get $1,000. I double checked with Barbara, Chief Duncan, to see if they're still doing it, and they were. Yeah.
They are.
But it's just doing things for people and making people think you care about them when you're in politics. Not just get behind the desk and hold your chest out or do things where people can come and hell raise. But if you keep them informed and keep them so they know things that's going to happen, I think the people would have more respect for politicians. Right now, politicians are not trusted. People don't care if they vote. They say they're going to do what they want to do anyway. Well, if you do and act like the people are somebody, they may care about politics. Oh, yeah, they care about us. I'm going to vote for that person next time. I'm going to get involved in politics. But right now, you don't want to bulldoze over those people. You want to vote like people run the churches. After they get the people's votes and stuff, you don't see them no more. I don't believe in doing that unless I'm invited or something. I think you need to be around all the time. If you're not around all the time, don't be a phony, because people know. A child, a dog will know if you're right,
Right.
You know what I mean? A child knows what this person is. He ain't right. A dog will know a person is if they're like the animals, you know what I mean? So I said, but basically I love people, and I love to talk.
Why the District 1 voter should elect Shanie Shields.
I think the District 1 voter should elect me because I have experience. I know the community. I know basically everybody, and I think that right now, I'm glad that young people are getting involved. I think right now, this day and time, we need an experienced person that has already built the partnerships and can get things done quickly.
She's Shanie Shields. She's running for County Council, Wicomico County Council, District 1, and we're thrilled she had time to be with us here today. Thank you, Shanie, so much.
You're welcome.
I'm Greg Bassler from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. Be sure and see all the candidate interviews for the county elections in Wicomico County on the PAC 14 YouTube page.